So here we are. Yeah, so see, you've made simple fillets.
And also, I feel like this area is weird.
Is this area down here?
Yeah, I don't like that much. What if like it's curved?
Okay. But if we do that, do you want to still keep this line, or do you want to lose that line?
Keep it.
Yeah. So,
maybe.
so maybe it goes up
Yeah.
and not down. Okay. So that's something to consider. But the first thing I would do is these are all separate blocks, right? I'm going to do one of these because these are harder. That's easy, comparatively speaking. And we may not have time to do them. Ooh, look at all the layers that are being used, Jen.
Also, can you explain to me how to drill the hole?
Yeah. Where are the pieces? They're here. Okay. I'm going to select all of this and scare Jen to porn by deleting it. And bring this back. Actually, I'm going to throw that away too. I'm going to save as so we don't lose it. There. Fresh start. That way I have layers I can use. So I've got this. That's a hard color to see. So I'll just make it a color that's easier to see. Okay. I'm going to select the ISO curve.
Does something happen around here?
No.
No. Okay.
No. It's just having a hard time reading it because
okay.
you have your mesh setting low. Tools, options, mesh. You have it set to jagged and fast. If you set it to smooth and slow, your computer will run slower, but that'll go away because it gives you a prettier thing. But yeah, it's still having a hard time rendering it. Going to extract ISO curve from the base. And I think that should be enough. Going to take these guys off. I'm going to hide them for now. I'm going to use this to trim the top of this off. And then I'm going to project it to the C-plane so I can make two curves that I can extrude or sculpt with. I know I have to surface the point separately. I know I have to separate the back separately as well.
Like how you did it with Yeet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And actually, since those are hidden, I'm actually going to take advantage of that and just make it farther back. Yeah, perfect. I don't have to surface anything back there now because I can just trim it off. Since you're not going to see it anyway, I can let that go. These I'm going to split. So two sides and a nose. Okay. Going to check what these are to be. I'm not even going to rebuild them. I'll rebuild the surface I make from them. Surface Tools Loft. Wow, that's kind of crazy. Don't want that. So, I'm going to have to use a bi-rail sweep. So I need cross sections. So I'm just going to clean this up so I can use these two curves here and here as cross sections. Your grid is driving me crazy. Yeah. 10, 10, 10. That way the grid becomes much less obvious. So, bi-rail sweep. these two rails, this section, this section. That's much better. I do want it to have a truer orientation in the middle. So I'm going to do that to it. And that's good. And then I'm going to rebuild it because I want an even number of points going down it. Spaced the same. Even numbered isn't important, but that they're spaced the same is important. This is my canvas. So the more predictable and even things are, see how many points there are? That's too many. Yeah, see, right now you have 43. I can do that in 20. And going across the middle, I'm going to want to be able to curve it. So I'm going to want to have an odd number of points. So I have a center. 1, 2, 3 in the middle. 4, 5. And hit OK. That's a pretty surface. If I turn on the points, that's easy to work with. Okay. I'm going to take this now. And unfortunately, I threw away the top of this. I shouldn't have done that. I'm going to mirror this over for a minute just so I can borrow it. And I'll put it on red. I'm going to grab my new surface. I'll just use the gumball because it's easy to pull it up. I'm going to pull it up until it's as high as the highest part of your surface. Something like that. Right? So I've got that. Now I want to make it curve a little bit. So to make it curve, I'm going to turn on the points. I'm going to grab every row but the middle one. Nope, wrong button. You have to always try and find out with this. Not that one, this one. Perfect. Use my gumball again. It's okay that it falls through, I don't mind. I'm just trying to get a basic sculpture going on. Grab the outside points. Oops, I keep grabbing the wrong button. That's okay. That's a place to start. Move my surface back up again because when I change those points, I kind of lost some height. Here we go. I'm going to go into a side view where I can see the elevation of your piece and the elevation of this one. Turn on the points. I'm going to turn off gumball. And I'm going to grab each row of points and move them down one at a time. And I'm going to move them, Jen, so that they land about where my extruded piece is. And I'm just going to get them close. I don't care if it's perfect. I'm just going to get it close. Got to make sure I hold Shift key so they come straight down. And close is good enough. I'll make it perfect in a minute.
Measure by eyes.
Yeah, I'm just getting it close.
Okay.
I don't have to be perfect. In fact, I'm going to actually grab all the rest of these. move them down. Now I want them to all be exactly right. To get them exactly right, I'm just going to pick, actually I want the edge of this surface. So I'm going to come in here, curve, circle, center radius, and I'll give myself a few different object snaps so that one of them will work. I don't care which one. I just need something on top edge that I can grab a circle from. C-plane, set C-plane to that circle. That's now my C-plane, Jen. Grab the two edges and project to C-plane, which on our keyboard shortcut is C-enter. Do you want to delete input? Yes. See how they all moved? They're all now in perfect position. That's why I didn't take a lot of time, because I was going to do that. Coming back over here, turning this back on. And I want to look at it from the side. Alright. Now I'm going to get more detailed. But I'm still not going to worry about being perfect. I'm going to select those points, and I'm going to do a non-uniform scale. Point snap. So I can grab any of these points is fine. I don't want to scale this way, so I'll hit enter. But I want to scale them up, Jen, so they come close to the top of this red. Enter. We'll grab a few more. Select them all the way down. Non-uniform scale. Once again, pull them up until they're... Now I can see I have something wrong. Okay? Somewhere in here, one of these didn't get scaled very nice. So I'll scale him now. Okay, fine. I don't care about lumps right now. I'm just doing it rough, so it doesn't matter. Grab these. And get them up there. I just kind of want to get them high. Okay? And now I'll come back and be more careful. Start at the front. Non-uniform scale. I want it to actually try and touch the top of the red now. Next one. Touch the top of the red. This one. Now it's going to get too high. That's all right. I'm not worried. That's why I only wanted 20 rows of points, Jen. Can you imagine doing this with 50 rows of points? I'm looking at the cross section now. The line itself, the top, I'm not going to be so worried about. I'm going to watch the cross section. That one's almost where it needs to be, so it's hard to move precisely there. That's nice. Getting close to the back now. Okay, let's take a look at what I have going on. Can you see what I'm doing?
Yeah.
Oh, gotta select the full row. That's the one I want right there. Interesting. I can't tell what I'm looking at. Something's gotten crazy in here. Ah, because where I was sitting at, it was hard to see. That's the one I want. Sometimes you have to come into perspective and see how low that one is. That one's crazy low. I'm going to go ahead and fix this one while I'm here. It's too high. That's better. That one's basically almost perfect where it needs to be. Almost perfect, almost perfect. Down a little bit. Down a little bit. Down a little bit. And the last one. I'm getting quite close now. So now I'm going to make it perfect. I'm going to look for points where I have a problem. Oh. Ah, cool. So, this one I don't need to change. I think I need to change this one. It's kind of boring, huh?
But it's come out nice, really nicely.
And it gives you a lot of control. That's perfectly on top of the red now. Perfectly on top of the red. And it's that control that you want. Because with good control, you know how it's going to turn out. You don't mind spending time if you know it's going to work out. What's frustrating is to spend time and have it not work out. This works. Okay, this one's gotten a little low now. Because since they affect each other, you have to sometimes go back and, not sometimes, always, you have to go back and make little adjustments. And if you're doing it like a machine, you got 20 of these. So it's however long it takes you to do this 20 times. If one sneaks below, you go back and correct it. Since that one, I can actually start to see how these are going. If one's dipped down, I can assume that's the one I need to work on the most. So if I come in and fix this one that's obviously low, the other ones are probably pretty good. And I can just look at this, and if this looks smooth on the top, I'm probably good. Okay, notice how I can see the top of this surface all the way through. Nice, right?
Very nice.
Okay. So what I want now is I want this to be smooth with the sides. I'm going to grab these two rows. But before I do that, I don't want this top to change. I just put a lot of effort into that. So I'm going to lock it down. And the way I lock it down, Jen, is I add more knots. Remember, if I move one point, these all move with it.
Yeah.
So if I add more points in between, they can't move. It's safety. So I'm going to put rows. Edit, control points, insert a knot here. And I want it to be symmetrical. This is the right direction. If I toggle, it'll go this way.
Okay.
But I want it to go this way. But I want it symmetrical. So I'm going to come up here and hit symmetrical equals yes. And now if I put a row of points there, my top is safer. So now I can move these two rows on both sides. I can use gumball. Pulling straight up. I'm watching my cross section to see how it changes. I want a nice space here. I'm gonna look at the back. Pretty nice, pretty nice. I've got kind of a point going on here on the top. So I will grab these two rows and move them up a little bit. That's quite pretty. I'm going to go back, well, I'm going to just bring back the red surface and look, because that's my master. Okay. The top broke through a little bit. I'm going to grab these two and the top. Perfect. Okay. Now I want to make this match the sides here. Before I make it match the sides, I want to lock all this in. To lock all of that in, I'm going to insert knot again. And I'm going to put it between the part that I finished and the edge. They're way down here at the edge, that's fine. We can adjust that in a minute. It's not hard to adjust. Okay? So, but my challenge is I made a mistake, Jen. I needed to split this edge before I moved this up. It's okay. It's not a problem. I'm going to explode it first, so I just have one surface. I'm going to analyze, edge tools, split edge. I'm going to come along this edge with end snap, and it will reach up and grab it. It'll reach up and grab it. It'll reach up and grab it. It'll reach up and grab it. Now I'm going to check and make sure it worked. Yep, that's good. That's good. So, surface, edit tools, match. I want to match this surface to this edge. Okay? But there's a better way. I actually don't want to do it this way. I changed my mind. To get it to be really perfect, Jen, I'm actually going to extrude straight down from those surfaces. Because if I extrude from the surface, it'll match perfectly. I only want one side. And I need a quad or an end. I think I caught a quad before. But we'll get a quad and end. Just something here that I can catch so I get the right depth. That's nice. Those are going to match better. I want these to fall down to the exact same elevation that I had before. Remember how I did that last time? I drew a circle, center radius. Anything I can grab on top of this blue surface is fine. Perfect. Drag a circle, Set a C-plane to it. Delete it. Turn on these 2 points, rows of points. Oh, you have to explode extrusions or you can't see their points. There. And on the other surface, it was this direction. Yep, still works. Project to C-plane. C, enter. Delete input, yes. Puts them all at the same elevation. That's just going to be smoother, and I like smoother. Now I'll match surface. And you'll see how the top changed very little, because we had enough points in there to protect it. Okay, but I don't like the corner. See this kind of corner I have?
Right.
That's because whenever a Rhino does this, it puts the second row of points really too close. So I'm going to select those points. Use my gumball. Until I get something that I like. And if I decide I don't like this kind of flatness here and here, I may need more points. Insert knot. Give myself some points there to work with. Pretty nice.
Yeah, really nice. I love it.
Okay, so you've had complete control the whole while. And of course, if you want to do, I think this is fine for what you want to do. If you wanted to do something fancier, it's easy to do. Except for I pushed the wrong button. What if I move these 2 down?
Oh, beautiful.
So you can come in now and sculpt and do whatever you want. But that's a nice smooth surface. And so now you have to put on the points. Points are easy. I'm going to look for my curve, my initial curve. Where are my initial curves at? Did I hide them? No. There they are. No. That's not my initial curve. Because I split my initial curve into pieces. Is it here? No. Nope. Oh, that's locked. Yeah, I put it on red. Great. Okay. That's why I can't find it. So, you. Come here. Go on a layer I can use. Thank you. So I have this little curve. I want to make sure that it still matches these. It should, but I'm just going to double check it. Curve, just like surface match, you have curve match. Say tangency OK. Tangency OK. And it matches. Just to double check, that's all. Surface extrude. Go ahead and explode the extrusion. So I've got that. I'm going to steal an iso curve off the top of here in a color we can see. Just that middle line. I'm going to want it to blend off the end of here. Easiest way for me to get this curve down here, there's 2 ways. One way, I can extract an iso curve, going the right direction and pulling up to try and connect onto that end. But see, it's too far. Rhino's getting confused. The better way is curve extend by line. Just going to pull it straight out. Then I'm going to explode it because I want just this piece. And I'm going to project that onto that surface from the top C-plane, straight down. There it is. I can delete that. Blend curve. Pretty nice. Maybe I'll soften that a little bit. Now we're going to do the way we always do noses or points. We're going to do a 3-rail surface from curve network. This is one rail. We need a rail here and a rail here, and then one cross section. 3 rails, 1, 2, 3, and a cross section. We want as many of those to be on surfaces as we can. The only one that's not is this one. But the problem is, if I try and use the edge of this surface, it's all one edge still, so I have to split the edge. Analyze, Edge Tools, Split Edge. I'll repeat the command just to double check. And if it lights up 1/2 yellow, I know I'm good, and I hit escape. Perfect, I'm ready to go. Surface from curve network. Edge rail, curve rail, edge rail, and then the one cross section. You should have tangency, 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 showing it smooth. Yeah. The back we don't need to have anything fancy because it's going to be hidden, but we will close it because it's going to make it easy to assemble if it's closed. Extrude straight up. Trim it off. Join these together. And I'll cap the back. Okay, turn off that curve. Mirror. By the way, if we compare it to your original maquette, that's the sketch. That's the model. Right? This is what you wanted, right? You didn't want this. But this you had to do so you could picture how thick, the shape, the relationships, because to try and sketch like this takes too long. You can sketch fast like this with extrudes.
About like elevation.
Yeah, yeah. But the pretty stuff that you do by hand, right? Mirror this over. Oops, need to go to top C plane before I mirror it. We'll put back in your, I'll move that to red. Turn red off.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. And it's that kind of thing that you need to work with. Okay? Now, we're out of time, but to show you, because it's useful, this curve, this guy here, need to change it to a layer that I can work with. The barely pink layer. You like soft colors. I'm going to go a little less soft. Okay. Hide this for now. I need this to cut all the way across this. So I'm going to do an extend by arc to point. And I don't really care what shape it makes because this is the only shape that's important. But I do need it to reach all the way across. I'm actually going to extend this a little bit too, so that I have a curve that's bigger than I need that cuts all the way across, because Rhino likes excess. Okay, I'm going to rebuild it because I know it's a poly curve. I don't want a poly curve. That's fine. Okay, just for example, you may want to make it a prettier curve. It's up to you. While I have this here, I'm going to offset it with history. Why not? And I'm going to offset it enough that I can make a nice cut in that surface. I'm going to see what I just did because I want to be able to repeat it on the other surfaces. It's 0.66. I'm going to make it 0.5. Not 5, 0.5. Both sides. That's pretty nice. I want to do it with history. I know I lost history. And I'm going to sweeten this curve up just a little bit. Because I have history attached to the offsets, whatever I do here, the offsets will match. Do you see them move? Watch what happens to the offsets.
Oh, yeah.
So it's easy for me to come in and fix it, adjust it a little bit, because the offsets will just join along. Perfect, or good enough. It's never perfect. So I've got these. I'm going to project these down onto this surface. I don't want to delete the input, so boom. Unfortunately, they're going to wrap all the way around, Jen, and I don't want them to wrap all the way around. There's nothing I can do but explode it and take this piece off and 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 this piece off. Join the rest together. I want to keep what's on top. I want to throw away the rest. There, gonna hide these. I'm gonna take this central curve, Jen, and I'm going to drop it a little bit. I made a 1/2 millimeter side to side, so I'll drop it the same distance. 1/2 millimeter. That actually looks too severe. I'll drop it 0.3. That still looks really severe. I'll drop it 0.25. Notes. This will be saved in the file. It's always there. So I have that. Okay. That's good. From the end of this curve, I actually want to draw a curve coming off of this surface. So to do that, I'm going to draw a straight line. I'm going to pick normal. Select the surface I want it to come off of. Comes like a ray right off of there. I'm going to do the same thing over here. Normal. Got a ray on the other side. That's nice. Turn these off. Going to use, I have my dropped down surface, which is right here. I'm going to go ahead and do a fillet. Did it cut it? No, so that's not going to work. So I need to cut this off, but I don't need to cut it off precisely. So what I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to do, Jen. I'm going to extend by arc to point. I'm going to catch the near. Nope, don't like that. See, I'm thinking. There's no one answer. It's just me thinking. Which way do I want it to go? What I want, Jen, is I want it to get narrower. So I'm going to take gumball and non-uniform scale it. A bit. Okay. That looks pretty good on this side. It doesn't look good on this side. It's too close to this side. There's not an even space. So I'll fix it. Look how many points there are. We don't need that many points. We don't need even close to that. This is the bottom of the groove. I don't even care how clean this is. 18 will do it. Yeah, that's better. Gonna grab these. I'll actually go in. Well, top view is not going to give me the best view. I'll just stay where I am. Just move them. moving them by eye. It happens in Rhino. I try not to have it happen very often because by eye is not very precise. What I want is I want that groove to look like it's going down the middle. And when you are doing it by eye, you always want to move around, because what looks good from one side doesn't look good from the other. I like it. It's good enough. Curve. I'm going to do a polyline. End, end, end. End, end, end. That's weird.
Yeah.
That went down. This one didn't. This one stayed right. They both went down. I don't want it to go down, Jen. I don't. So, draw a circle. Set a C-plane to it. Turn on the control points. I'm going to grab this point, and I'm going to project it to the C-plane. And I'll just leave that point where it is. I don't really care. And same thing here. It's the same height. That one does look a little weird, so I'll gumball it straight up. And if I bothered to fix that one, I might as well fix that one. There. Redraw those cross sections so they don't look bad. Curve, polyline, end, end, end.
Oh, yeah.
End, end, end. Don't need the circle anymore. Go back to top C plane. Don't need the rays anymore that stick out the side. I'm good. What I need to do now is make my surface. I can't use a surface from Curve Network because I won't get a corner. It only makes one surface. So I'm going to explode these into 2 curves each. And I'll do a sweep, bi-rail sweep. This rail, this section, this section. I'm going to add a slash just so I can correct the middle, like that a little bit. Like that a little bit. Done. Going to do the other one. Exactly the same way. Add slashes here too, just to make the grain prettier. This side actually looks good. Okay. So I've got that. Next thing I need to do is I need to extrude straight down from this. To the end. To the end. Join these together. Now I expect to see a seam here a little bit. I don't really care about that because of where it's at on the piece, but I do want to see how bad it is. See, there it is. See the little line?
A little, yeah.
I don't care. It's a groove. It's not going to matter. But it's good to know it's going to happen, and it's good to look at it and make sure you like it. It's all right. Okay, don't need that. I need my... Where's my pretty surface at?
Green.
There we go. Pick my poly surface. Trim. But before you do this, you always want to save a copy. Control C, Control V, and then change the layer to someplace safe. I'll put it on layer 5 for now. Okay. Because I'm about to put a hole in this. Trim. Rhino says no because Rhino's a pain. Okay, duplicate border. Explode the border. Take off the 2 bottom pieces for now. Join the rest together. Rhino likes cutting with curves best. Extract the bottom surface. So now I just have this top shell being cut with these 2 curves. Not a problem. And join these together. Trim off this. Oh, come on. I can delete those curves. Join, trim. And join it together. It's a solid object. Does that look about what you wanted? Okay.
Okay, thank you.
You bet. It's not easy, is it?
Sure, I try.
Yeah, it's all things you've seen before, but once again, putting them in order, putting them to do what you want them to do is the hard thing.
It's not too hard to make it.
Yeah.
It just take time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And it'll be pretty when it's done.
Yeah.
Okay? So I will save this. And I will